Montreal-based bedding brand Maison Tess is helping people dress their home the same way they do their wardrobes. We have Laura with us, who's the CEO and founder. Thanks for joining in, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
So, just to get the ball rolling, could you please tell us what exactly are you building at Maison Tess, and what inspired you to take this path?
Absolutely. We are an online bedding company, simply put. What we wanted to create at Maison Tess was the union between fashion and the home. As
Okay.
a young mom, when I created Maison Tess, I wanted to redecorate my house and I wanted to do it online. When
Mhm.
I was searching, I was doing my homework, basically trying to find different things that I could add to my house. Everything that I was finding online is basically the inspiration of what I did not want my brand to be. It was boring, it was flat, it was unattractive, it was not feminine.
Mhm.
And I told myself that there has to be a way that we can combine fashion and home online. And from there, Maison Tess was born. My concept was really based on myself. I'm between a Gen X and a millennial. I was a young mom at the time, I still am, and I'm an avid consumer. You don't
Mhm.
have to convince me. I will shop. I would like to consume. I love retail. It's always been a thing. And I
Okay.
told myself that if I couldn't find what I was looking for, there were for sure a lot of other people who would not find what they wanted, who would not be able to find what they were looking for.
Right.
So, with that in mind, I started building Maison Tess, and it really was a work in progress. I wanted to combine colors. I wanted to have premium fabrics. I wanted to have a story. And that's why I really stuck on the home, because I could have said, okay, I'll do a retail brand, I'll do some
Mhm.
clothing. But I think that there's something really authentic and really transparent about the home. There's a
Mhm.
lot of storytelling around it. And I think that people relate to that story because when you get home, it's really the place where you are the most authentic, where you are your true self. And I
Mhm.
think that consumers today need that sense of intimacy with brands where they can relate, especially if we are an online brand. We need to
Right.
have that connection. And to me, that was key.
Mhm.
Um, Family and home are elements in my personal life that are very important. And I wanted
Mhm.
Maison Tess to be a reflection of who I am. And so all of these different points kind of gathered key factors of who I am as a human. And
Okay.
I decided to build my brand on that.
Okay. And that's interesting and inspiring as well. So, I think you are a direct to consumer brand, right?
Absolutely. We get a
Okay. So,
lot of requests for wholesale, a lot of requests for different shop and shops, sometimes bigger stores like big retailers.
mhm.
So far, I've refused all of them.
Okay.
What we do is designers, because that stays like on a human level, and sometimes some boutique hotels. But
Okay.
brick and mortar or wholesaling is not the business model that I wanted to invest in. I told
Mhm.
myself that I would give myself 3 years for direct to consumer
Okay.
to test this business model, and so far so good. I don't
Okay.
feel like going that different road. It's we're talking the same language, but we don't understand each other.
Right.
It's like
Right.
it's an old way of doing with a new way of doing, and it doesn't match.
Okay. Okay. So this was a conscious
Yeah.
decision to stick to direct to consumer so that you can be closer to your customers and understand their requirements better.
Yeah, and also I feel like truth. Yesterday I said I'm going to go to a store to buy things for my office because we're redoing
Mhm.
our office.
Okay.
And I went to the store and I didn't understand what the hell I was doing there. I was like, why am I not doing this online? There's too many
Right.
people, it's crowded, and like it's
Mhm.
just not a system that I believe in anymore. So if it doesn't apply
Mhm.
to me, I don't feel the need to impose it on my consumers. It has to
Mhm.
feel right, it has to be honest.
Okay. Okay. Understood. And you work with like a 97-year-old mill in Portugal.
Almost
They are
100 actually.
almost 100. Okay. Okay. And they are your suppliers or manufacturers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's about fourth generation family
Yeah.
business now.
Hmm.
Okay. What was the reason behind choosing them for Maison Tess?
Well, I mean, there's so much trust that goes into a business that's been running for 100 years,
Right.
right? You know that they might be doing something right.
Oh, for
The
sure.
whole process of sourcing was one of the biggest challenges that I had when starting Maison Tess. I
Okay.
had the concepts, I had the colors, I had the fabrics, I had the name. I couldn't find the right manufacturer. I
Uh-huh.
didn't want to produce my goods in China. I didn't want to have that kind of product. I wanted to have something that was premium
Mm-hmm.
and something that again was trustworthy. I wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
proud of where I was producing my goods,
Mm-hmm.
and after a lot of homework, after a lot of back and forth, after a lot of deception, a lot of times I thought I found the right manufacturer. I thought it was there. I thought that's it. It's done. We can move forward. It didn't happen until I met them. When I met
Okay.
them, the relationship was very it went both ways. There was trust from day one. There was honesty from day one. The products that were delivered, the samples were at the level of quality that I was looking for. And
Mm-hmm.
when I went to visit them, you walk into this mill and it's literally old women who have been doing this for maybe not 100 years, but maybe the 15, no, probably more, 40 last years. And they do this work with so much love, so much
Right.
passion, so much savoir-faire, as we say in
Mm-hmm.
French.
Yes.
And so like you almost want to go in there and hug them and say like, thank you. This is so beautiful. What you're doing is so amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really what I wanted. And when I do go visit, like I hug them. It's like an extension of a family. It's a
Mm-hmm.
really it's an honor to work with them. And when I started there, I was a really small consumer, and now I'm one of their top 10 clients. So, and
Okay.
they produce for huge brands in the United States and Canada. So,
Uh-huh.
it's nice to build on that. And it's nice to start with someone from day one and have them evolve with you side by side.
Right. Right. And you have incorporated a lot of, sustainable practices in your
Mm-hmm,
supply chain, like right from
mm-hmm,
sourcing
mm-hmm,
till delivering the final products. Could
mm-hmm.
you could you just walk us through them? What exactly
Sure.
are you doing in that aspect?
Sure. So there's different elements to them. So if we start with the product, there's two main elements that stand out. The first one is that all of our products are OECOTEX certified, which
Mm-hmm.
means that they go through a process where the chemicals are non-abrasive for humans, so from newborns until
Mm-hmm.
older, and also for the environment. So once the chemicals are no longer used to dye our
Mm-hmm.
fabrics, they're thrown out, but they're not dangerous for the environment. That's
Right.
something that was very important for me. Step two is we are members of BCI, which is Better Cotton Initiative, and it
Okay.
makes sure that we invest BCI cotton in the chain of production of cotton. So it also makes sure that the wages are fair for people who weave the cotton, because people who
Mm-hmm.
weave the cotton are different, who cultivate the cotton are different than people who weave. So the
Yes.
people in Portugal will buy it from farmers. So we
Mm-hmm.
make sure that those farmer wages are fair and that the whole line of production is done in a fair trade and ethical kind of manner.
Okay.
So these are two certifications in terms of products that we do. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of in-house, what we really like to encourage our customers in is to have everything shipped at once. It happens
Mm-hmm.
throughout the years that some items are pre-order, meaning that they can buy them now, but they're going to receive it when it gets to Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And we encourage them to wait for the total package to be prepared so that we don't need to send out multiple items, because when you
Yes.
send out multiple items, you're wasting more paper, you're
Right.
wasting carbon footprint, so you're doing all these elements for the environment, whereas where you can just wait a little bit, few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
then you can send everything at once. So by default, this is something that we imposed, and I
Mm-hmm.
would say a good 95% of our customers are totally fine with that. And then
Okay.
if they want to have their goods split up in two different packages, then they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we do also on the customer side is that we strongly encourage customers to receive swatches of fabric, so pieces of fabric, before they make their choice. Because
Okay.
we do free exchanges and refunds, but
Right.
again, like, oh, I don't like the color, put it back in a box, waste another box, put tape,
Mm.
send a label. So it's a lot of different steps. So what we do to discourage all this back and forth is that we send samples of all the colors that they want, and then they
Mm-hmm.
get to pick and choose. So we encourage them to make the right conscious choice
Got
every
it.
time they order with us.
Okay. Okay. These are
And then,
Mhm.
sorry,
Yeah, these are some great small steps that
yeah,
brand like yours doesn't have a
it,
lot of employees can take to cultivate sustainability.
of course. And I think that, on one end, consumers are very strict with brands
Hmm.
as to what they want and why they're shopping with them, et cetera, et cetera. But it
Hmm.
goes both ways. I think that consumers are also very much responsible for not
Hmm.
having an attitude of like, I don't like the color, I'm going to send it back. It's a
Hmm.
two-way thing, like we are doing our end to make sure that what we put out there is quality, it's fair, and it's ethical. And
Right.
then I think that the consumer also has the responsibility to do the right choices in the way that they purchase.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, those are some really great steps. I think a lot of small businesses should be learning from you
Oh, thank you.
in this regard. Yeah. And I think it doesn't stop there. Like you have a lot of social commitments as well, from
Yeah,
especially
we
from the
do.
products that you
Of
get
course.
back. Yeah.
So, because we have a 30-night sleep trial, if
Hmm.
after 30 nights someone is not satisfied with their goods, then they
Hmm.
could always send it back to us.
Okay.
We're lucky enough that we don't get that many returns, but when we
Hmm.
do, we give them as a donation to a women's shelter in Montreal. It's
Hmm.
called Chez Doris.
Okay.
And so we basically give them all of our donations. Every 3 months, we gather them up and we give it to them. And
Hmm.
right now, we're working on another project, which isn't on our site right now. And
Hmm.
it's a transition home for women.
Okay.
And this association has taken on an apartment and has created 4 different apartments. So it's a building, sorry, and they've created 4 different apartments for
Okay.
women in need,
Okay.
specifically young mothers. And
Hmm.
they encourage them to go to school and get a degree, and
Okay.
different companies come in and put in what they can to make their living space a more enjoyable one. So because they are young moms, we are providing bedding for the moms and for the kids as well. So these are
Okay.
different things that we like to do, not only as a brand but as a team. It's things that are close to our heart, and that we
Right.
want to implement long term.
Right. Right. No, those are some really great initiatives, and it brings out that picture that as a small brand, it's not like impossible to have a sustainable and social angle as well. Like you obviously you have a lot of responsibilities, but
Yeah.
you can still manage to do these with your business as well.
But I think that on the contrary, as a young brand, it's even
Mhm.
easier because
Okay.
there's so much control in the creative process that you
Okay.
don't have when it's an established brand. Like if you
Right.
take COVID as an example, some older brands are really struggling to get online and get in that state of mind
Right.
because
Right.
it's a change for them. But
Yeah.
young brands almost become spokespeople, like on a
Hmm.
social level, because
Right.
consumers want to know who they're buying from.
Right.
The amount of consumers that buy from us and ask and tell us we wanted to buy from you because you are Canadian if they're in Canada, because you are from Montreal if they're from Quebec, because you are a woman, whatever it is, all of these elements, because of your social commitments, all of these elements are things that are important. Absolutely, they're true, so they're
Yeah.
easy to put into place. But it's really not that hard.
Hmm.
If your vision is in the right place, it's much
Hmm.
easier to do things when you're a fresh and young brand than when you are a much more established brand.
Got it. Got it. Well, that's inspiring for me as well as I would say for the small brand owners that would be watching this video. So
Hmm.
thanks for sharing that.
Of
And
course.
I can see this has been a great journey so far. But if you look a bit into the future, say next 6 to 8 months, where do you see Maison Tess to be in that time frame?
My goal for Maison Tess is for us to own the home. I want to carry all the products that the home could carry. And that's exactly where I see myself in the next 6 to 8 months, a year, 2 years. This is a business that's been growing exponentially. Our team has been growing as well. It's been a process. For the first 3 years, it was just myself and my sister, who's been by my side since day one.
Okay.
And people would come to our office and they thought that we had a team of 20 people, but it was
Mhm.
me and her. Like when inventory came, we rolled up our sleeves, we undid the boxes, we stacked them, we counted them, then we did some
Mhm.
marketing, then we did some customer service. So we did all of these things. So for 3 years, we really did all of these different steps together. And for the
Mhm.
past year, because the business kind of shot up,
Right.
then we've expanded our team. We have different people who come to us, who want to work for us, who propose different concepts. So I think that the brand is really going in the direction of this vision, which is to own the home. And it
Okay.
really, like, it is what it is. It's not more complicated. It's not more simple. We just want to carry all the products that a home can have.
Okay. It's good to have such a clear vision.
Yeah.
So, and lastly, Laura, so at Epic, we are also trying to, connect you with people out there who can help you in this journey in any way they can. So, are you facing any challenges right now where we can,
I think
which
it would
can,
be almost insensitive to say that I'm facing challenges with what's going
Mhm.
on in the world
Yeah, yeah.
today. I'm not facing a real direct challenge.
Okay.
We're always trying to enhance our brand awareness, have people know us, discover the brand, because when they do, they
Mhm.
become avid consumers and
Mhm.
shoppers, and they appreciate our vision and our mission. So I guess one of our main goals and one of our main challenges, which I think is going to be an ongoing one, is
Mhm.
to create more brand awareness and have
Okay.
Canadians and Americans, because right now we opened our store in the US, so it's called
Oh, nice.
Maison Tess Home.com.
Okay.
Just have people discover us, because once they do, we take care of the rest.
Good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Uh, this this has definitely been an amazing journey, and what you're doing on the sustainability and social impact front is amazing, and that should definitely be an inspiration for small brands.